Hey everybody, this video is specifically geared towards understanding validation plans. So real quickly, I want to show that there's two different locations where you might see a validation plan populate or, language around it. So I do want to show you the base way that it does show up and then show you the other way that we can do it with off-host processing. So just real quickly, you guys may have already seen this before, but when you go in to do a protection plan, you can go into what is called the backup options inside of the backup tab and then do what is called a backup validation. It is a standard checksum check. So when you go in to create your plan in here and you scroll down to the backup options, you'll see at the top there is a validation tab. It is recommended, as you can see, we do not recommend it at all for you to use this option if you are hosting the data within a public cloud, because especially with object storage, the egress traffic can be very, very expensive. So definitely pay attention to that. This is more for a use case of doing it on a local store so that you're able to run that in-house and not worry about those egress fees. The other thing though is if you were to hit yes here, this is going to be a standard checksum check. So it is going to do that for you. It's going to do it within the same agent. So the one thing to note with that is everything you do within that agent has to get done before the next plan kicks off. So that includes the backup as well as the validation. So that is why the more preferred way is to do it as an off-host job. And where you would find that is you would go underneath the management tab, and then you would come down to the validation. And then with that, you can see I have a couple plans in here already that I've created from before. We can go ahead and see those details. We can edit them. We can even run the validation plans right now if we wanted. But what I want to do is just create one from scratch to show you the different options and the different ways we can do a validation plan. The first thing that I want to cover with this is one, you can go ahead and give it a name should you want to. So we'll just go with a new plan for demo just here for real quick. We'll hit OK. And then what is really nice about this is it's off host processing. So you are able to select any of the agents underneath this umbrella that you want to host this for you to run these processes. You're not stuck to the default agent, obviously, and you want to go ahead and choose an agent that's going to be not using the agent for other tasks at that time regarding Acronis, especially doing another validation job because we can only do one validation job at a time per agent. You are able to do a bunch of validation jobs at the same time, but they just have to be on a per agent basis and not on the same agent at the same time. So just kind of keep that in mind, but you are able to select the agent you want to run this job, and then you have to dive into what you care to validate. And just like with replication jobs and stuff like that, you can go through by browsing your locations for finding that data, or you can browse the backups that are within those locations. So once you find the data that is what you're looking for, you can go ahead and select it, hit done, put in the credentials if needed, and then do your specifications. What I'm going to do though is go ahead and select a storage here. We're going to go ahead and dive in. Let's go there, hit done. What I want to show here is for what to validate. You can choose all backups. You can choose only the last backup, so entirely up to you there. And then for how to backup or how to validate, sorry, you can do the checksum verification, but you can also spin it up and run it as a virtual machine. Keep in mind, this is where we're going to need the host at that local location. So as long as you have access to a host and you're able to point this up, we can stand this up as a temporary machine. You can give it a name, anything that you would want with that. You're able to then select the actual data store to utilize for that. And then on top of it, you can then choose whether you want to get a VM heartbeat as well as a screenshot verification. And then you can utilize the VM settings as well. Make sure you're connected to memory as well as the network adapter. So with that, once you validate and set all of this up, you would hit done there, and then you could do your schedule. The schedule can be done on a per hour basis, all the way down to incremental minutes should you need to. But keep in mind the agent itself does need to be open for other activities if you did want to schedule that agent for other items too. So you just want to make sure that you sparse this out accordingly. You can also choose to run this with a specific date plans as well, or date ranges, I should say. And so when you're done with that, you're going to see it populate here. Now, once you're done and it's populated, you're able to do a couple different things. You can see a quick snapshot of the details of it. We can go in and just run it right now if we wanted to. We can also go through and rename it and edit it. We can see any validation plans and activities that have happened in the past. We can also go in and see how it's ran, if it's been working appropriately. And then as I scroll down just a bit more, you'll see if there's any alerts. We can export the plans if we need to, all of the above.